Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Concordia's Matthew Swift and University of Miami President Dr. Julio Frenk.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, thank you, and welcome to the 2023 Concordia Americas Summit. The Americas Summit is Concordia's longest-standing regional initiative. It has been a part of Concordia since 2016, when we actually first came to Miami, thanks to the leadership of Dr. Eduardo Padron, who is with us today. Much has changed since 2016 about Concordia, about this summit, but also about the world. Some of those changes and how we intend to face them are at the core of what we have come together this week to discuss. The Americas Summit may have changed over the years, but it remains a cornerstone of Concordia. It is a very, very important initiative in its own right, bringing together leaders from the public, nonprofit, and private sectors to confront the challenges and opportunities facing the Western Hemisphere. You don't have to look too far to see some of the challenges and opportunities, particularly here in Miami, a city that in many ways is a conduit between North and Central and South America. Here we see a melding of cultures, of languages, but also what we are seeing is a confluence of concerns. Chief among those concerns that we are focused on here at Concordia is the eroding trust in our institutions. According to recent polling, trust in institutions is at or near its lowest point in 50 years. From national governments to local police forces, people are increasingly wary of their institutions, preferring to place their trust in dubious sources of news. Accordingly, misinformation and disinformation is on the rise, making this a very, very critical time for global democracies in history. Healthy democracies rely on information, education, and a healthy debate. The rise of misinformation threatens all of that. Misinformation and disinformation has also increased polarization across our political spectrums. Peaceful differences have turned to alarming hatred. Healthy debate has turned to bitter conflict, and our focus has shifted from what unites us to what divides us. As a nonpartisan, nonprofit institution, as a convening institution at Concordia, there come certain moments where you have to draw certain lines in the sand. Our founding focus is public and private sector cooperation. We advocate for public-private partnerships. But at the same time, we also have to advocate for institutions that make that possible. We also have to advocate for market-led solutions to so many of the different subjects that we will talk about over the next 2 days here in Miami. We are drawing a line in the sand to say that without a healthy and strong private sector, the ideas, the things that we talk about within the context of Concordia are not possible. As we meet, discuss, and network over our shared ideas and our hopes, our ambitions for a bright future, I hope that you all remember how connected we truly are. Since COVID, Concordia, like so many organizations, had to quickly pivot to digital, but we are very, very much and just as quickly pivoting back to in-person. I want to especially say that we are so thrilled to be back at the University of Miami. Concordia has partnered with over 50 different institutions globally around our convening and around our content, but I have to say the University of Miami stands out as one of the more entrepreneurial institutions in education that I've ever come across. And so much of that is due to the leadership of Dr. Julio Frenk. I want to thank the university for hosting this event and for all that they do to ensure that this is a welcoming space for our attendees, patrons, and guests. I especially want to welcome the large group of undergraduate and graduate students from the University of Miami community who are also all going to be participating as attendees and in certain cases as speakers as part of this agenda. It is now my great pleasure, though, to introduce someone who's become a good friend, a member of Concordia's Leadership Council, and also the president of the University of Miami, Dr. Julio Frenk.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matt, and good morning to everyone. I want to Thank you all for being here and welcome you to our beautiful campus on this beautiful day. I want to extend my thanks to Nick Logothesis, your co-founder, your partner, for the friendship, as you said, Matt, that we've developed and for this incredible opportunity to be here. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone back to our campus after the very successful first meeting we had last year here at the University of Miami. And we're delighted to have the opportunity to again serve as hosts. And I also want to thank very much President Laura Chinchilla and Dr. Eduardo Padron for their leadership and guidance and the way they have made this partnership possible. You know, as I think about the American Summit being held here on the campus of a university, I see that it's a sign of major convergence between our two organizations. And I think of three elements or dimensions of convergence. Convergence of social functions, convergence of geographic focus, and convergence of priority topics. First, social function. Concordia is the leading convening organization around issues of great import to humankind. And I have always believed that one of the fundamental functions of a university is to serve as a convener as well. So that's where we come together in a magnificent synergistic way. Convergence of geographic focus. The Americas was the first regional summit that Concordia organized. And we, as a university located in this great city, which is at the crossroads of the Americas, have developed a strategy to become what we call a hemispheric university. And I want to be clear, a hemisphere is half of a sphere. It cannot stand on its own. So it's the focus on the hemisphere in connection to the rest of the world to make the whole circle full and whole. That is the vision, that strategic vision for this university, and that's, again, where we have a convergence of geographic focus. And then the convergence on priority topics. Some of the topics that are going to be discussed here are absolutely crucial to our agenda as an institution of higher education and advanced research. Democracy, public and private partnerships, climate change, global threats. The last point that Matt mentioned, erosion of trust. Because I am concerned that in addition to the erosion of trust in institutions, the erosion of trust in each other, what I see in many young people is an erosion of trust in the future. And that's the fundamental trust we need to rebuild. The idea that the future will be better than the present if we set our minds and our goals and our energy to achieve that goal, trust in the future. These topics are, as I said, central to our own scholarship and our educational efforts. As an example of this, just last week, we opened the Handley Center for Democracy, which is going to serve as a center to study the practice of democratic governance in an environment that encourages dialogue, reflection, understanding, meaningful engagement, and something we try to develop in our students, which is the ability to disagree respectfully. We also, on climate change, which for us it's an existential threat, and there'll be a panel later this day, we launched the Climate Resilience Academy, which is a research and instructional hub to deliver interdisciplinary, integrative solutions to this, which is truly the existential challenge of our times. And we are currently developing an initiative centered on this idea of restoring trust in the future among young people. And we'll be, I hope, talking more about this. It's an initiative about the future, and we hope in the future to be able to talk more about that. I encourage everyone to engage fully in the summit over the next 2 days. I know there will be meaningful conversations and hopefully also lasting connections. We look forward to seeing you again next year and in 2025, because that's what our agreement now stipulates. 2025 is an emblematic year for us because it will be the year of our centennial. The university was founded in 1925. That will happen in exactly 760 days. Not that we're keeping count, but as we reach that milestone in our development as an institution of higher learning, it is truly a privilege to partner with such an enlightened organization as Concordia and to be able to bring together the bright minds and the engaged leaders that all of you are. Thank you again and welcome to the University of Miami.